Guys, Jeremy, aka Anime Freak 1983 here. So I just got out of Ghostbusters Afterlife, and I kind of wanted to give a little bit of my thoughts, a basic review, but I don't want to really give any spoilers too much. So before I get to that, I want to go ahead and give you a little history of my love for the Ghostbusters franchise. Um, when I was a child, I'm a child of the 80s, 1983. So my grandmother had a VHS copy of Ghostbusters, the original. And every time we would go over to their house, she would have that movie on. So, of course, even though I was a kid and thought, it was a horror movie, which, later in life I learned was a comedy with horror elements. But so that was always on. And then, of course, I was there for the big craze when Ghostbusters 2 came out. And, from there it was, Ghostbusters 2, it was the real Ghostbusters, Extreme Ghostbusters, um, Ghostbusters, the video game, all that stuff. Been very much, a fan of Ghostbusters. Ghostbusters, the original, is still one of my all-time favorite movies. I mean, it's easily in my top three movies of all time. So, obviously, I am very, very much a Ghostbusters fan. And so, of course, I've been dying to see Afterlife. Get it? Dying. Anyway, so when the movie was getting ready to start, the trailers come on and all that stuff. And I thought, we might see something new and interesting. But they played old trailers. They even played a Ghostbuster Afterlife trailer prior to Ghostbusters Afterlife. That was a little weird, but, who cares? I'm not a big trailer person. So then the movie starts out, and I don't want to give anything away, but there's a tie to Egon, which I'm sure a lot of you already know that. I have mixed feelings on how they did it. I think they went a little too far with some of it. I like the premise, but I think they went a little too far. However, that said, this was a Ghostbusters movie. My biggest concern going into it was that, it'd be too focused on kids, and it would be kind of toned down. And in some ways it was slightly, but it feels like a Ghostbusters film. And when you see the original cast members, even though they don't have as much screen time as I'd like, it's like you just want to go nuts. I mean, as a Ghostbusters fan, you're just ecstatic. The movie itself has very much a feel of the original Ghostbusters. Seems they mostly ignore Ghostbusters 2. And obviously, there's, the director has said now that Ghostbusters, a video game, is no longer canon. So, that's obviously ignored as well. They tied everything pretty much to the original Ghostbusters. And that works. You can definitely tell that the original director's son was the creator of this. And he knows his Ghostbusters. I will say there's moments that they should have darkened it a little bit. Overall, though, the concept feels like something that should have been a sequel to Ghostbusters. The ending is really cool. Make sure you see the after credit scenes. A lot of people in the theater started leaving for that, and they missed out on a really cool scene. But overall, I'd say out of 1 through 5 score, 1 being the worst, 5 being the best, I'd give it a 4.5. It's great, has its moments, but it has a few little flaws here and there. Also, don't go into this expecting, the cool soundtracks like we had in the original Ghostbusters. Yeah, they used some of the original music, but through most of it, you're not going to see any of that either. So, just go into it, enjoy the film, and at a later time, I might do a little bit more of a review. Once some people get out and see the movies and stuff with some spoilers and talk a little more in depth. But, I'm starting to do some of these reviews and stuff for the channel, and I figured, why not start with one of the films I've been most looking forward to. So, that's kind of my basic thoughts. So, until next time, catch you on the flip side.